So if we start off with notes, then you'll have all noticed that it's on a pentatonic at the moment. It's 5-sided, so pentatonics work really well. It doesn't have to be pentatonics. It can be any notes you wish, but it is 5 at a time. We are thinking of, we're sort of working on possible cross-fingering things and these type of elements, but there's method in the madness, as it were. A lot of natural instruments, they have all the notes inside them, and we have to learn how to get them out. Or they're displayed like on a keyboard, they're all there. And for a lot of people, if you don't know what the right notes to play are, it's quite daunting. It can be quite kind of off-putting to have all of this kind of stuff and trying to know what it is you're supposed to do. So by limiting things down and saying, well, here's a limited palette that we can change and we can adjust, then you often empower people to start getting creative. And often kids as well, who perhaps in terms of confidence, things like that, music for them sometimes it's about just making those first critical steps of being able to make a sound, make a good sound, and be able to play with other people without necessarily sounding bad. And this is a really great way of introducing kids to kind of group music making and being able to play together, particularly with pentatonics, because they make that very, very easy. Or you can take it much further and play complex pieces and have melodies and scores and all kinds of things. Okay?
Can you recite more than one note each?
Not at the moment. You could using the sampling thing, but we've been asked to start incorporating that, so we're thinking of doing that. There's a couple of changes. All software updates are free through the website. So if you're using Skoog, if you just log on, and we'll email you a password, and you have to sort of say which Skoog it is you've got, and the serial numbers on the tag, and we'll send you a link and you'll be able to download things. Because we've massively improved the brass models and the string models and playability. We've shifted on quite significantly there. And with those, because you can control the lip tension and the slide length, then you can actually get a whole range of notes off one side by twisting, changing the lip tension and getting different kind of in that transition across the frequency range. Anyway, so notes. So at the moment we've got a pentatonic, and now you can tune the Skoog. So there's a little slider here, which is quite important when you're working with other acoustic instruments or just other instruments around about. Not everything is sort of stuck in perfect computer pitch. So just down and up, okay? That tunes everything you've got on it, relatively. Okay? So, and there's a handy reset button for when you've messed it up and you need to get it back to where it needs to be. Okay. There is a transpose button as well, which is quite useful for when you've got a sort of specific set of notes that you've set on it yourself and you want to use them in a different way, transpose them to a different key. If you're going to use transpose, you'll know what it does. Okay. So if you want to put your own notes on it, you just go to the user-defined thing on the scale menu here, select that, and then the rather authoritarian-looking padlock is now open. Okay, so it means it's free. So now, you just click on a colour, and that starts flashing on the keyboard, and click somewhere else on the keyboard. You can choose your note. Okay, so you can then edit that. You've got several octaves. You can go up or down. Okay, to select. And then when you've got a pattern of notes you like, you can just save them off. Call them something sensible, put them somewhere sensible. Ideally have a Skoog folder or something, because after a while you find that, because you can save settings and save note files, these kind of things, it's good to have things all in one place. So in a, here's one I made earlier type fashion, after the one I made earlier. And I'm going to show you, what should I do? Let's do this, okay? I'm going to attempt a bit of Katy Perry, but just to give you an example before we get into kind of more kind of accessible music making stuff, an example of how you can take it quite far. And actually, we're finding this is really good for engaging older kids and sort of teenagers in this sense. We've started creating these, we call them scores with a K. That's very Northern European. So here we go, I've got my score. There we go, single colours, I've got the notes here, so you can tell by the way. Where am I? That's not right, is it? That doesn't sound right.
That note's just what you did earlier, you know, when you said you could change your notes. That's the palette you've got there now, so.
Oh, I need to open, because I've opened, I haven't opened the notes, I've opened the score. That's why. No files, that's what I need. So, there we go. Like it. And the software also lets you up here, is you've got an audio bar. So on larger projectors and screens, this sometimes happens, you get this overlap. This is just if you have more than one Skoog plugged in, you'll get more than one of them lit up. So if I click that, it brings up my active kind of Skoog window. This is just the main audio control. It gives you a level. Okay, and you can also record using the software. I'll go through that in a minute. And this is a backing track player. Now, you should, I mean, you'd be playing on with other instruments, playing on the radio, playing with iTunes. But if you pull a WAV file into here or an MP3, you can use anything you like. In terms of format, it doesn't have to be a specific Skoog backing track. Well, I now need to find. Actually, let's do this. Drag that in there. It says please wait. So we wait. There we go. Now I should be able to give you a glorious rendition of this. Actually, we'll get someone else to do the. I've got Don't Stop Believing on this as well, which is actually really good fun. It's incredibly complicated and long. So you can take it, you can actually take it quite far. And one thing that's nice to do is, get kids making their own scores, and often get the paints out, get the pens out, get paper out, and then start to do stuff with art, and get them to play with colours, and then get them to play with colours and do different things that way, kind of integrate things in that sense. So that's the kind of note selection side of it.